What's up, everybody? So we're out in the shop, and today we're starting a new build series. Now, I originally gave y'all the option of either forcing me to do the Damascus build, which of course you didn't. Y'all all said overwhelmingly, hey, go ahead, take your time on that, and then start releasing that whenever you feel up to it. So, awesome, guys. Thank y'all for being, y'all. And then I gave y'all an option for either the EDC kukri that's made out of the ADC RV2 that's 1/4 of an inch thick, and some of y'all said to do that one, but a lot of y'all said to do one of the 5160 knives and the little drop point knife in particular. And I was thinking about it, and I was going, that'd be a cool build. But then I was thinking, so over the past couple of months, we've done a lot of ADC RV2 and we've done a lot of 5160 knives. That has been the bulk of what we've done. And then I thought, what haven't I done in a while? Farriers rasp knife. I have not done a Farriers rasp knife in a while. And I thought this would be the perfect time to do one of the shapes that I've been wanting to do for a while, because y'all asked for a smaller drop point. So I've had this one that I've wanted to do for a while. Has a cool handle shape on it, nice drop point. And this right here lends itself to a Farriers rasp knife a lot, because the way the grinds are, you get to see all those triangles going up. So whenever you grind this and put bevels on it, it ends up with a whole bunch of little triangles going up one side of it. And it's just going to look absolutely awesome. This right here is a Farriers rasp made by Diamond, right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do a Farriers rasp knife. These right here are a simple steel to work with. You heat treat them just like 1095, and it's a pretty simple process. Now, what I'm going to do on this knife is a really beautiful handle material, and then also I'm going to do a mirror polish on it. So I'm going to do hand sand all the way up to 1,000, maybe 1,500 grit sandpaper, and then I'm going to do a full-blown mirror polish. Y'all haven't seen me do that in a while. It's been actually a long time since I've done a mirror polish blade. I've been doing a lot of the resurfacing belt finishes, so it kind of looks like a brushed finish, satin finishes, things like that. But I haven't done many mirror polish blades lately, and I think that this lends itself really well to that. So what we're going to work on today, starting this series, is we're going to need to cut out the knife. We're going to use an angle grinder, get it cut out, and then we're going to need to anneal the knife. And the reason why I anneal it after I cut it out is because just from here to here is 14 inches, and then you have a tang. That is a lot of steel to anneal, and it's a lot easier if I'm only having to anneal this much of this. So we're going to cut it out, and then we're going to anneal it, and then we're going to go ahead, clean it up, and start working on, bevels and all that stuff. I don't know how much we're going to get done in today's video, but we'll talk about it as we're going through it, and then, we'll wrap up in the outro. So let's go ahead, let's jump into this, let's get this knocked out.
So right here we're just using some white spray paint and the wooden template that I made of the knife, and just creating an outline on the rasp here. This works out pretty well. Now I do end up doing some different things with the template that I've done in the past during this process, and I'll talk about that when we hit those points, but this is definitely a simple way to get the outline on something that's textured like this. Now we're just going to take our angle grinder with the cutoff wheel and start cutting out the outline. This is not annealed yet, so I would not be able to do this on my porta band saw, so I have to do it on the bench here with the angle grinder. And what we're really doing is we're just kind of cutting the rough shape, and I'll end up doing the rest of it on the 2x72. Now, you of course want to be careful whenever you're doing this with a non-annealed file or rasp, because you don't want to go too crazy. They're still pretty brittle at this point, and you can easily snap this. So just be careful whenever you're putting pressure. Now, this is the first time that I've actually used the template on top of the still that I'm working with whenever I'm cutting out some of the stuff. The reason why I did this was just to see what it was like. I wanted to see if this was something that I could easily do to make it to where maybe I don't have to actually draw on the knives. So I'm just using this as a little bit of practice to see if the template would actually lend itself to making it to where I didn't have to actually mark on the blade. And we're gonna keep with this theme and keep the template on here. Go ahead and start roughing the shape out. Now, what I'm doing here is just getting that profile nice and set up. I'm gonna be going through and smoothing everything out. This is just to get everything back to the shape of the template. I'll tell you, this makes it to where you have a knife blank that ends up being pretty much the exact shape of your template. And I want to do that on this one because I really liked the way that this template felt in my hand whenever I got it all shaped. So I want to go with exactly what I have here. Now what you see me doing here is just moving the belt from one side to the other and getting the slack hangover for where I'm trying to round it. Whenever you hang that belt over, it makes it to where you don't dig into the material whenever you're starting to try and round particular areas. And now what we'll end up doing was we took the template off, flipped it to the other side, and then ground the spine. And then we got it put in the forge here so that we can start annealing it. Again, like I said, I anneal it after I cut it down because trying to fit 14 inches into this forge and get it all annealed, there's a lot of steel to try and fit in there. Now that we have it annealed, we're going to go ahead and take all the points that you see on this rasp off. You definitely want to do this after you anneal it, because if not, you'll be doing this step for over an hour, even with some good blades, because it will just remove the media off of your 2x72 belt. Now all we're trying to do is we're just trying to get it flat. We're not trying to remove all of the triangles or anything like that. We're just trying to get it flat so that we'll leave the cool triangles in there and we have something that's smooth to work with. Now we go ahead and start smoothing out the profile, and what we're doing is we're getting all the lines to go one direction. So before, the grind lines were going perpendicular to the blade, and now we're going to get them all to go parallel with the blade. And the little area that I'm working on right there, we'll end up smoothing that on the oscillating spindle sander. But for right now, we're just going to get it smooth up and rounded going that way, and then we'll get those lines going parallel, like I said, on the spindle sander. Now it's time to go ahead and drill our holes, and I'm using the template to set the holes so that I know where to drill, and this makes it a lot easier because with the texture, if you just try and mark it and drill it, the drill bit's going to skip around because of the file texture. Once we get the holes drilled, we're going to go ahead and chamfer them so that we have a little area for epoxy to settle whenever we start putting everything together. And there you go, guys. Let's talk about this in the outro.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up today's vlog. This is where we're at so far. Absolutely love the profile that we're getting here. I really like the handle shape. It is extremely comfortable in the hand with the palm swell and the way that the butt kicks out like this. This is going to be a very comfortable knife, and I'm going to end up shaping the handle to where it's easier to pinch right here. This is going to be amazing, and it's going to be perfect for like a skinner, things like that, because I'm going to go ahead and put a finer edge on this knife. Now, it'll have a great heat treat, so even with the finer edge, it will still retain its edge even if you got to chop into something. So good news is, you know, this is basically 1095, and those heat treat real well. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to grind in the bevels in the next video. So we're going to start with grinding in the bevels, and I'm going to leave them at the thickness of about a nickel, and then we're going to heat treat and then do all of the finished bevels and everything after that. And we're going to get it down to almost a 0 edge before we put an edge on it. So that's the plan for this. In the next video, we're going to be grinding bevels, heat treat, grinding some more, and then doing the hand sanding, and probably go ahead and do the buffing on that so that you can actually see what the blade's going to look like. And then after that video, we'll do, you know, handle scale setup, attach them, do all of that stuff in that video. So this is going to look absolutely beautiful. Hopefully y'all are excited about this one. We've only done one Farriers rasp knife in the past, so this is only our second one. Absolutely beautiful. Hopefully y'all like it. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you do. Guys, that's the end of this video. If y'all would, give this video a thumbs up, share this video or one of my other videos. And guys, if you haven't yet, bottom corner, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you get notified of the stuff that's coming up. And we have a lot. Remember, Damascus is going to be coming up, plus the rest of this build right here. Guys, thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending your time with me. Y'all have an amazing day. Stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.